First Development Resources listed today, an interesting time for an IPO and an interesting IPO. Tristan Pottas joins us now. He's the CEO of the company and he's going to tell us all about it. Tristan, good to see you.
Alistair, great to be here, obviously on a fantastic day for the company.
Indeed. So you've raised 2.3 million at a good price. There's a warrant attached. You guys are looking for gold and copper in the Paterson Range, famous for Greatland Gold, amongst other things. Tell us what you're up to, what you're going to do with the money and what the opportunity is here.
Certainly. Well, I mean, straight off the bat, we've always said that once we get the company listed, we fully intend to go straight into operational activities. And we're going to be true to our word. So, we are already in the process of arranging for a drilling rig to be mobilized to our Walal project in the Paterson, as you say. We've identified 3 magnetic bullseye anomalies, one of which we would like to test with the drill rig and basically see what's down there. So we are really excited to get cracking as soon as possible.
So when you say you're excited to see what's down there, I mean, what do you think might be down there? What does your geological investigations to this point suggest might be worth hoping for?
Well, look, the Paterson is a fantastic place to be exploring, and obviously recent discoveries have obviously put the spotlight back onto that part of Western Australia. Most notably, the news coming out of Greatland Resources. They are an excellent example of what success can look like. We're still 300 kilometers to the north of Havieron. However, the magnetic bullseye anomalies, which we've identified through the reprocessing of historical geophysical data, supplemented by our own 2D seismic surveys, we've been able to constrain the geometry of our primary target, which is the eastern magnetic anomaly. And this anomaly does bear a striking resemblance from a geophysical perspective to the Havieron discovery. But of course, this is a geophysical target undercover. We will only know what's down there after we've drilled it. So, for us, the fact that we're confident enough to roll onto site with a drill rig as quickly as we are doing, hopefully demonstrates the confidence that we have that there is something there to explore. But ultimately, Alistair, it really comes down to what's in the hole, and we're terribly excited to basically get the rig turning and see what's down there.
So you've got a good war chest now, 2.3 million. How much drilling do you think you're going to do initially?
You know what? The initial program is literally one hole. It's a deep hole. We're talking a 1,200-meter deep hole, which will get us well into the target based on the information that we currently have available to us. And of course, in any exploration project, it's obviously the first data that you get back, or physical data, i.e. drill data, which will allow you to then determine what comes next. So for us, we will be driven by the results from the first hole. But this target, right, it's 2.5 kilometers by 2.5 kilometers. It's comprised of 2 lobes. We're looking to target the western lobe initially from surface. We have a heritage clearance survey which has been completed, which will allow us to position the rig at another location within the target area. So we have optionality and flexibilities, assuming the results that we get back from that initial intersection are what we hope.
It's going to be very interesting to see the results from that hole then. When do you expect the news to be coming through about what you found down there?
Yeah, well, look, we're using a fantastic drilling contractor with a huge amount of experience drilling these types of targets in that part of the world. So, on a linear scale, we would hope to have the drilling completed within a month from commencement of that rig turning, and then typically you're talking, let's say, 2 months to get the results back. However, look, this is an undercover target. This is geology. Drilling ordinarily will never go as smooth as you hope, and there's undoubtedly going to be something we may have to deal with on the way down. But I think conservatively, within 3 months, we'll have the data back.
So what's the idea then? You'll look at this data and decide what your next move is.
Yeah, to a more or lesser extent, and of course that leaves it very open in terms of what we can do. At the Walal project, we have identified 3 magnetic bullseye targets. Without question, the focus initially is the eastern anomaly, and as I say, it's comprised of 2 lobes. We've got another pad that we can move on to should we need to. But of course, once we get the results, we will spend the appropriate time to really understand what we may have found down there, and we'll be working with our consultants and advisors to determine the most efficient way to do the next phase of work, essentially.
I mean, it's an interesting time to be doing this work, given that the gold price has been high and looks like it's going to stay reasonably high for a while, and the copper price also on the move and seems to be moving upwards. So you've got a good context to be doing this work in as a backdrop.
Oh, look, the market conditions in terms of the commodity prices couldn't be better, really. This is the time to be drilling, as you say, for gold and copper. But I guess on a climatic level, if you can use that as an example, drilling at this time of the year in Western Australia is ideal. We're well past the cyclone season. Temperatures have cooled off considerably, and it is the right time to be drilling. So yeah, very looking forward to getting started.
So what else have you got going on in the company? Because it's not just this Paterson ground, is it? There's some other interesting opportunities that you're presenting to the market as well.
Absolutely. So, the portfolio as it currently stands, we've got three gold and base metal projects in Western Australia. We've already mentioned the Wallal project being our focus, but equally, we've got a fantastic polymetallic project in the Northern Territory, our Celta project. Celta is a really interesting opportunity for the business. It's a parcel of ground which covers an area the size of Greater London approximately, within which we've carried out multiple phases of desktop review, which has been supplemented by our own site visits, reconnaissance, and early exploration work, within which we've identified 9 targets that we'd like to now explore. Now we're funded and on market. Starting off with 4 targets which we've prioritised, and on those targets we're looking at everything from gold to lithium and rare earth elements. The main difference, there are many differences across the project portfolio, but as we mentioned at Wallal, that is a deep undercover geophysical target, whereas at Celta, all the geology is outcropping or just subcropping. So, you're basically tripping over the pegmatites, which may contain lithium, or the granites, which may be the source for potential for uranium or other metals. So it's a very contrasting project, but equally it's a very exciting project. And once again, we hope to send an exploration team out to Celta shortly in the very near future, in the hope of generating that tangible news flow to supplement that which is coming from the Wallal project. Because what First Development is about is effectively making or attempting to make that significant metal discovery. And as we always say, Alistair, you can only find something if you're prepared to go looking for it. And I hope people recognise that's exactly what First Development hope to do.
Now, First Development, as our viewers and listeners may or may not be aware, has actually been around for a while, hasn't it? Working on these projects as a private entity. Tell us a little bit about why the listing is happening precisely when it is happening, i.e. in July of 2025, and also why London is the market when the assets are in Australia?
Great question. I mean, I'll start with why London first of all. So, in my opinion, London is a fantastic place to do business, and when London works, it can work exceptionally well. And we've already mentioned Greatland Resources, and that is another exploration company which was financed out of London. They were originally solely listed in London, and they had incredible support, and they had also had incredible success, and they're a fantastic example of what success can look like. So, for me, of course, the ASX could have perhaps been a more logical home. However, in Australia, there are thousands of exploration companies all competing for that same pool of capital. Of course, there's a lot of competition in London, but I just don't think it's as crowded in our space as it is on other exchanges. And it's a fabulous place to be listing, and we hope to take advantage of the I guess the logistical and legal framework which we'll be operating within here in London. Why now? Look, First Development, we've been working on, as you say, understanding our projects for the past 3 years, whilst at the same time trying to pick a time which is appropriate to come to market. And look, there is never the right time to IPO. There are better times, but equally there are less good times. And I think it's fair to say we've all experienced a rather challenging time in the markets over the past 2 or 3 years. What we've seen, as recently as the last 3 months, is an uptick in sentiment in London in particular. Whether that's been driven by, the success of, as we've mentioned, of Greatland and their dual listing onto the ASX, but equally, the Bitcoin Treasury space has seen some fantastic results in the recent history. And right now, it's a fantastic time, as has been proven by the support that we've got for the IPO. You could say the summer break's just around the corner, and yes, it is. However, as I say, we're ready to go. The projects are ready to go. Why not just get going? That's what we're doing.
Well, why not indeed? Tristan, congratulations on the listing, and thank you very much for joining us today to tell us more about it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Alistair, and hope to keep you updated into the future.